Howdy-ho, Andrew here. Welcome to the Onion Buns and welcome to Let's Talk. Well, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that we have kind of a scandal going on in Canada right now. And it has to do with ostriches. And my God, has it been a shit show. Now, I'm not really a conspiracy-minded person. I'm very open-minded. And I understand that a lot of conspiracy theories that the left love to insult people about and say, oh, you're wearing a tinfoil hat and, you're just making shit up. Well, they all came true. There's no other way to put it. A lot of them came true. But I'm still not a conspiracy-minded person. But I got to admit, I look at what's going on with the ostrich farm and the Liberal government's determination to kill those birds. And it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. So for those of you that don't know or don't know the whole story, over a year ago, when there was the height of the avian flu coming out of the States, a number of these ostriches got sick and died. And the Liberal government decided they should be culled. They didn't do any testing. They didn't do anything. They just wanted to go in and kill them. And the ostrich farm, they fought back legally as best they could and drew it out. And it's been 254 days today of 0 deaths, 0 infections, 0 sickness. The best scientific minds out there that are not on the Liberal payroll, it's something to keep in mind here, have said that the herd developed natural herd immunity from the disease, and they're not a danger anymore. But the Liberals will not allow these people to test the birds. Like all the owners of this ostrich farm want to do is test these birds to see if they have the virus or not. And the Liberals have threatened jail and I believe it was a $250,000 fine if they get any testing done on these birds. And I find that very strange. Like, why would you not want to test these birds, especially after such a long time with no indication of any illness whatsoever? It doesn't make sense to me. You got 400 ostriches on this farm. Why would you be so determined to kill 400 birds if they're no threat to anyone? And the Liberals will not answer that question. I heard Poilievre call him out in the House of Commons today, and all Carney did was laugh, and he didn't answer the question. He did that slimy laugh he does, but he wouldn't answer the question, which is normal for Carney. He doesn't answer questions. He doesn't like questions. He's a very arrogant man. He's like, I know best. Everybody just listen to me and quit questioning me. But we should be questioning because this makes no sense at all. So anyway, thank God for Indigenous. They stepped up today and they said this is on Indigenous land, and the RCMP and CIFA have no right to be on here to kill these birds, and put forth a cease and desist order, which the Supreme Court held up, and there's been a stay of execution. For how long, nobody knows, but there's been a stay. But that hasn't even stopped the RCMP. They're still going out there and they're building up these frickin' fences to stop people from going in, and they're building these haystacks up so that if the stay ever ends, they can climb up the haystack and start shooting the birds from over the fence. They want to kill these birds. That's crystal clear. Whoever is, well, we know who's commanding them. It's Carney, and he wants these birds dead. Which brings us to the conspiracy theory, is a lot of people are saying, and I have no evidence of this, just so I'm very transparent and clear. I'm telling you what I'm hearing. I'm not telling you this is true. But what is being said is because Carney has so many financial ties to Big Pharma, and the Liberals just approved another Moderna Big Pharma plant in Quebec. How come they're always in Quebec? Does the rest of Canada not get these industries? Why are they always in Quebec? under this Carney government? That's something to ask yourself. So, like, if he wants to be the premier of Quebec, why doesn't he just go be the premier of Quebec? You know, if he's not interested in being the prime minister of Canada, go be the premier of Quebec. Your French sucks, so they won't elect you, but go try. Canada would be better off. Anyway, so the conspiracy theory is that pharma is terrified that this is natural herd immunity, because that's big bucks on vaccines and treatments going out of their pocket if there is such a thing as natural herd immunity, where you can get the antibiotics out of these animals and reverse engineer it into a cheap vaccine. It makes sense. Like on the surface, it makes a lot of sense, because I honestly can't think of another reason why they want to kill these birds so badly. And they want to kill them. Hey, that's crystal clear now. So yeah, that's what's going on here. And, you know, it's ridiculous. You know, I am an animal lover, and I absolutely fundamentally reject this. Now, if these animals were sick and a danger to other animals and to humans, I would have no problem with the cull. But they're not sick. They've been 254 days with no signs of a virus, no signs of illness, no deaths. And as I said, the scientists are all that aren't on the Liberal payroll are saying they developed a herd immunity and they're safe now. You know, and you know, the Liberals are always saying, trust the science. Well, yeah, let's trust the science. Not the ones you paid for, because we know how that works. You buy these scientists, they tell you what you want to hear, and then you present it as science. No, that's what we call junk science. Let's go with the independents that are not bought and paid for. Those ones hold some credibility. The ones you guys in the UN and all those guys pay for and buy, they have no credibility, and I don't want to hear a damn thing they have to say. But the independent scientists, yeah, I'll trust science, exactly as you keep telling us to. So anyway, yeah, that's what's going on, and thank God for the indigenous tribes right now, because if it wasn't for them, all those birds would be dead today. So thank goodness some sanity has come through, and hopefully the Supreme Court will see the logic in testing these birds. Like, it's absolutely asinine that the Liberals have said you will be fined and jailed if you test the birds. Right there tells you there's something going on here, something dirty, something immoral. So, you know, you would think before you kill 400 healthy animals, you would test them. You know, a dog bites somebody, we test it for rabies. And if it has rabies, we put it down. You know, it's common practice. So why is this not applying to the ostriches? I would really love to find that answer out, but I don't think we ever will, because Carney doesn't answer questions. So anyway, I got a whole bunch of pictures for you, and I got a whole bunch of content for you that we're going to go through. So let's sit back and take a look. Before we get to that, though, I also have a couple of videos for you, and one of them is a song. I don't think it's copyrighted, so I hope I can play it. But if it is, I'm going to have to mute it out, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm going to try to sneak it through YouTube, and hopefully it's not copyrighted, or if it is, they've allowed it to be uploaded, because certain artists allow their copyrighted material to be used on YouTube. So hopefully it's one of those, but I have no way of checking it until I upload the video. So here we go. All right, so to get started, here's some of the dishonest crap that's going on with the RCMP. Now, I am normally very supportive of the RCMP, but these ones in particular, they need to be fired. Point blank, they need to be fired. And what's going on right now is they are building up these fences, and they don't want people filming it. And the reason they're building up the fences is the minute they hear word that the stay order is not in effect, they're going to kill these birds. Like I said, they want to kill these birds. They have been ordered to kill these birds. And in my opinion, these are immoral and illegal commands, and they should be rejecting them, but they're not. So here's a video showing this part of it.
You want to see the ostriches? Go see them now. You're going to be looking at them through a blue fence soon. Nah, that'd be a big task. I doubt it. I'm sure we'll ask the police and they'll tell us. And the liaison guys know what they're doing. Hey, buddy. You're on camera. I want to publicly apologize for any kind of prejudice I entered our relationship into. I didn't mean to exercise prejudice. I have some trauma with police in the past, and I tend to project it to all police. And I didn't mean to do it to you if I did.
So you can see the fencing they're bringing in for no reason other than just to cause problems. And they're not supposed to be here now. The cease and desist said they are to leave. So they're actually breaking the law by being here.
Okay? Thanks, man.
Just stay back.
Yeah, I'm staying back, for sure.
Mind sharing with us? All of a sudden, we don't have a number.
Jim, hey guys.
Talk to you, and I need you to bring your ID. Come with me.
You're talking to me.
All right, so what we got happening here is this is the head person of the ostrich farm, and she has the cease and desist order, and she's giving it to the police today. It was September 24th, and she's giving it to the police.
As of last night, we've been taken on under the signatory Indian tribe for protection. And so I just want, if you guys can please, this needs to go to the higher ups. And the ostriches and our land is now under the protection of the signatory tribe, Indian tribe.
I'm not a psychologist, but these guys look like they're not happy about this. Like, they don't look happy to me about this. And I don't understand that. To me, you don't have to kill the birds. That should make you thrilled that somebody stepped in and took that responsibility away from you. But they look miserable.
And we met with them last night. So this is a cease and desist from the signatory Indian tribe.
I'll run this up.
Thank you.
All right, Katie, tell us a little bit more about what's in your hand there.
So we were able to meet with an amazing gentleman that sees the abuse that is happening.
The other thing I should point out is, this is a massive story, and yet the only reporters out there are the Rebel, the very news agency that liberals want to cancel. Like, why is CTV not out? Why is Global not out? Why is CBC, Communist Broadcasting Corporation, not out? And this is, I'm not a big fan of the Rebel, but this is why we need the Rebel, because our mainstream media, they only report what Carney tells them to report. They should have a big presence out here. All the press in Canada should be out here for this right now. This has become a worldwide story. And like in my previous video with Irina, our mainstream media is for the most part ignoring it. Here we have the Canadian ostrich farm owner pleads for Trump's help to stop RCMP from killing 400 ostriches. And the reason she's asking for Trump's help is because she's being ignored by Carney. Like, he's flat out ignoring. Like I said, Poilievre asked him about it in the House of Commons today, and he did one of that slimy, scummy smile he does as he laughs about it. I mean, the guy is evil. Mark Carney is evil. I've been saying that for a long time. So anyway, this is her plea to Donald Trump, and you can hear the emotion in her voice.
Mr. Trump, President Trump, this is a cry out, a plea from Canada. Please stop the slaughter of almost 400 healthy ostriches that are going to suffer today or tomorrow. We need a miracle. The world has been calling on a miracle. This is of interest, as you know, I know you know. Yeah, you would say hello. They are claiming that these animals are virulent and that have a virus and that they're sick, but instead these ostriches hold the key to humanity with their antibodies that can help with therapeutics and new innovative science that can actually make us less reliant on vaccinations and pills. This is for our children. This is for our grandchildren. This is for freedom. This is for hope. All of our animals have names. Our oldest is 35. And Carney, Mark Carney, nobody will listen. All of our politicians have just turned a blind eye. Please help us. President Trump, please help us in Canada. The world needs you right now. We need leadership. We admire your leadership and we are calling on you. Please, please help us. At Universal Ostrich Farms in Edgewood, British Columbia, we are asking for a miracle. Thank you from Katie Pasidny.
So Trump did actually mention this in his post-UN speech, not when he was talking to the UN, but from the White House. He did actually mention these animals and the slaughter of them, and the senseless slaughter. And a American billionaire did step forward and say, I will take the animals, but we have a law that says you can't move infected animals across a country's border. And since Carney and them will not allow these people to test these animals, they can't guarantee that there is no infection. Like, the only way to guarantee there is or is not an infection is to do a blood test. A simple blood test, and everything's answered. And the Liberals will not allow it. There's something going on here. All right, we have another interview here.
Hi, everybody. Katie with Universal Ostrich Farms. It's been quite the day. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency lied to us. We were in the pens, and all we were asking to do was to humanely feed our animals while they prepare. We wanted to humanely feed them to keep them calm, keep them, giving them the routine and with the familiarities, the faces that they've been used to for 35 years while they prepare. We said we were not there to obstruct, we were not there to do anything. We just wanted to feed our animals so that they got fed properly while there was going to be all these strangers and loud noises and all the fear that they're going to go through. And we sat in the pens waiting for that confirmation. We were not looking to get arrested. We were hoping that they would just come to common sense that this is one of the hardest things that this family is going through. So we were waiting to see if they came to common sense and let us feed our animals. And then we got a okay. We could go and feed our animals, and it was just this breath of like a weight off our chest that at least in all of this turmoil and chaos and anxiety and sadness and fear and tyranny and overreach and you name it that we're going through, psychological warfare, and that at least we could go feed our animals. So we went to go feed our animals. Loaded up the truck, and my mom and I were crying, we're happy. And we get to the first pen, and they got us away from everybody that could film. They didn't want anybody to see what was happening. And there was a bunch of police cruisers and a paddy wagon that surrounded our farm truck and told us that we were under arrest and that we were being taken away and we were not allowed to feed our animals. So psychological.
And they were arrested yesterday. This is from yesterday. They were arrested yesterday. They got released later on. But this is what's going on. It's just lies and deception by the Canadian government over and over and over.
Warfare, torment, torture, complete disrespect of any humane actions for these animals that are going to be tortured and go through one of the worst heinous crimes in Canadian history. And they came and arrested my mom and I. Here they are. They're arresting us, and they're in their hazmat suits. And my poor mom, seeing her in cuffs today.
The hazmat suits. The police and the Canadian food industry have not used hazmat suits once until this day because they know there's no risk. You can see videos, go back, and I'm not going to show you all those videos because this video would be like 5 hours long if I did that. But you can go look at all the video that the rebels taken and everything. None of the police, none of the food inspection agencies wore any hazmat suits until it got brought up that they weren't wearing hazmat suits. And then suddenly yesterday, they showed up in hazmat suits. It was a production. It was theatrics. So,
handcuffs, and she's the hardest working woman you've ever met. She has a heart of gold, and she would feed anybody and take in any animal. She wakes up for these animals, she goes to bed for these animals, and everything for our family has been these animals. But watching her in handcuffs was probably one of the hardest things in my life. I begged them to take the handcuffs off her because she's not violent. I said, we're going. And we went to go get into the police car, the paddy wagon. And my mom bumped her head really bad getting in, crying. And we just held each other. And they took us away to a YRB lot it's a YRB lot, a yard where they house all the trucks that work on the highways in Edgewood, British Columbia. That is their staging zone here. And they set 2 plastic chairs out for us, separated. And so we had to sit apart. Read us went through all their stuff, took our photos. He proceeds then to give us their personal cell phone to call our lawyer. Well, my mom and I have not been decontaminated out of the most virus impacted zone. So we still have ostrich poop on our feet. Our hands were just touching the buckets and the birds all day. And they're handing us their own personal cell phone.
that says it all. They're not worried about an infection. They know these animals have no virus. Again, I say it, there's something else at work here. And I pray to God that the Supreme Court are smart enough or not compromised enough to recognize that there is something else at play here. This is not about the birds.
On our lawyer. I hope you're picking up what I'm laying down here. This has nothing to do with a virus. And they know these animals aren't infected. They know that there's no threat here. And there would never have been a threat here because these animals have a firewall. They have antibodies. And that is what they want gone. So we sat there for a couple hours, I think it was, I don't know, after crying so long and just sitting there and watching her and us looking at each other, shaking our heads going, can you believe this? Here we are arrested for defending our own animals on our own property and our livelihoods. Thank you to everybody for your love and support and all of the welcome homes when we got back. We wouldn't be able to make it through this without all of your love and support. I want to give a shout out to my family that knew that I was arrested and I haven't been able to talk to them. I love you.
Yeah, it's clear as day. Like, if they're covered in ostrich poop and ostrich feathers and, like a normal farmer around its animals, their animals. If you're fearful of the virus, if you really believe this virus is in action, you're not interacting with these people without a hazmat suit, without plastic gloves. You're not going to hand them your cell phone because the cell phone would have to be quarantined at least or destroyed until you can verify if there's a virus. But again, they are blocking these people from verifying that there is no virus with the threat of jail. As I said, there's something else going on here. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but you slap me upside the head, I'm going to say you slap me upside the head. And the Canadian government is slapping these people upside their head. So here, this is yesterday, we have these bad actors in their hazmat suits putting on a show. They haven't had it on for 250 days, but now suddenly, once people started pointing that out, they show up with the hazmat suits. I mean, if it wasn't so obvious, it would be laughable. Just ridiculous. I don't know if it's my internet or if it's the video that's I think it's the video lagging out. So So yeah, here you have like these guys, they have no hazmat suits on. They're not worried. You know, they look miserable. This is from that video I showed you earlier. You can see the blue fencing that they're bringing in after the cease and desist order. So even though they were told to leave, they're putting up this fencing because they want to kill these animals. I can see the intelligence in these animals.
So, hey guys, I just want you to know that when I'm talking to people here at the farm today,
The head's here and the body's
I get
here.
mad.
And the body
I get
goes
mad
like this,
about
the head stays still.
what they're gonna do.
It's like chickens. Great big
But when I
chickens.
look in your little eyes, I get sad. I get really, really
They wet
sad.
eggs?
So,
Oh, yeah.
and you know what? To my friends, anybody that, if you don't care, if you think these are just animals, or you think the government ultimate power is okay, or if you've not done your research and you really just don't care, that's your right. But if you do care
I see all these little gray ones.
and you're just saying what you care,
You know how to make friends.
you know what? If you don't stand for something, you stand for nothing. And that's, I think, where we're at. There's so much wrong in this world that we can't fix. This, we could have fixed. It's... Call it off, Mr. Kearney. Call it off. Don't listen to Big Pharma. Don't listen to the World Animal Health Organization. You're 114 days now from being clear. Your tests are all, you know, this was fixable. But we're not going to fix it. We're just going to kill these little guys. And I'm sick to my stomach, and I'm sick of my country.
So here is from the Western Standard. Breaking the federal government's planned cull of nearly 400 ostriches in Edgewood, BC has been paused for now. The Supreme Court granted Universal Ostrich Farms an interim stay just hours after the Kanaksa Nation stepped in to assert that the farm sits on their ancestral territory under Section 35(1) of the Health of Animals Act. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency must consult with the Kanaksa before taking further action, which, as I showed you, they're not. They're taking action still without permission. Farm spokesman Katie Paisley, that's who you saw in the videos, daughter of the co-owner Karen Esperson, confirmed the news on a Facebook video, calling the intervention of a critical safeguard for both the ostriches and the land. This comes amid escalating tensions. Paisley and her mother were briefly arrested for allegedly obstructing CIFA agents, but you heard her story is all they asked is to feed these animals. I mean, you still got to feed these animals. As long as they're alive, they have to be fed. And that's all they were asking. And a hay fire broke out early Wednesday morning. Thankfully, no animals were harmed. This story is developing, but one thing is clear, the farm battle is far from over. Here we have a headline. BC ostrich farm developing antibodies that could put an end to the coronavirus. And there it is. That is the conspiracy theory that's going around. And I got to admit, the more I look into this story, the more I believe this, because there is absolutely no sane reason that this numbnuts here wants them dead so bad, other than it's going to affect his bottom line with Big Pharma. You know, if there's a natural antibody for the coronavirus, Big Pharma's out a lot of money in the future. Here is the Supreme Court of Canada. Universal Ostrich Farm Canada Food Inspection Agency, upon application of the applicant for the order staying the execution and enforcement of the Canadian food industry Notice of dispose and any steps under CIFA stamping out policy under the application for leave to appeal or is dismissed, or if leave to appeal is granted until the appeal is disposed of. So, but there it is. I'll show a longer picture at the end of the video of this so everyone can read it easier. All right, we have another angry person over this. And you can see the ostriches in the back here. Oh, well, let's just hear what he has to say.
You know what, Prime Minister Carney and anybody else who may see this? I'm going to rant and I'm going to vent because I'm angry. You can travel all around the world trying to fix every problem that we can't possibly get a handle on. Why don't you fix something at home? Okay? I'm at an ostrich farm in Edgewood where 400 healthy animals are going to get butchered by our government tomorrow. 400 healthy animals. 250 days ago, a suspect PCR test is going to means that these animals are going to be gutted tomorrow by our government. Our government that refuses to allow new testing. $250,000 fine and 6 months in jail if a family tries to prove that these animals are healthy.
There you go.
6 weeks ago, at the appeals court, UBC professor Stephen Pellich tried to testify on behalf of the family and these animals, proving that they have massive antibodies in their yolks, and that's why these animals didn't die. That evidence couldn't be. The courts wouldn't let the professor present that evidence, but they'll take old evidence from the CFIA as grounds to kill these things. Okay. Sorry, I'm mad. Okay. Yesterday, the young girl, the only person in Canada to ever have the avian flu, was here with her family. They're mad because our government wants to use her illness as a reason to gut these animals. They'll tell you, let these animals live. Our government spent $200,000 in medicine to keep that young girl alive. And as her dad says, these animals have massive antibodies that the UBC professor will tell you they had. And our frickin' court system wouldn't take the evidence, but they'll take old evidence from the CFIA. You're traveling all around the world trying to fix problems in Palestine and Gaza and Mexico and everywhere else. Fix the frickin' problem.
He's not trying to fix problems. I know what he's saying, but Carney's not trying to fix problems around the world. Carney is pushing the New World Order. And that's not a conspiracy theory. He admitted it the other day. And his staff have used that terminology as well. Carney is pushing the New World Order. He didn't run in the election on pushing the New World Order. No, he hid that. I mean, some of us knew it, and we tried to tell you people. But yeah, that's all he's doing. The sooner people figure out Mark Carney doesn't care about you, the better. The sooner you'll wake up.
Problems in our own freaking country. But no, you're going to kill these animals and kill the evidence of health. Okay? Because that's what you're doing. You are killing the evidence. And let's see if you got the guts to keep this video up on your pathetic freaking Facebook page. Yes, I'm a Canadian. I'm mad now because I'm talking to you. I cry when I look at these guys. I'm 59 years old. Okay? I voted for Pierre Poilievre, but I had faith in you.
I had no faith in Carney. The roadmap of Mark Carney, if people had just looked, he's not a good man. He's not a nice man. He's a very evil man. Like, nobody should be surprised about the ostriches. Carney did this to human beings. There was Brookfield under Carney bought coal mines in the United States because 91% of Carney's investments are in the United States. He's got no investments in Canada. And they bought coal mines in the United States. And when the coal miners got black lung, which is, you get that when you don't have the proper ventilation equipment because they weren't given the proper ventilation equipment, they got black lung. Carney and Brookfield bought Rockwell, the insurance company, and then started rejecting medical claims by the very workers that got black lung working for them. Does that sound like a moral person to you, an ethical person, a honest person, a good person? To me, that's black hat villain all the way. You know, Carney talks about the environment. under Brookfield. He cut down. I'd have to look it up, but an insane amount of hectares of Brazilian rainforest. You know, the Brazilian rainforest is one of the biggest ecological benefits to this world, and Kearney and Brookfield cut down swaths of hectares. They displaced a primitive culture living in there. I've looked, I can't find out what happened to the primitive culture. Most likely they became criminals, they became drug addicts, or they died because they weren't raised on technology, so they can't function in the modern world. But, you know, again, this is Mark Carney. Like, he's not a nice man. So I'm not surprised by this. He had faith in Carney. I've never had any faith in Carney. None. But I did my homework. If the voters of Canada had just done their homework on Carney, none of this would be happening, because Poilievre has said he wouldn't be going through with this, and we would have Poilievre as our prime minister. We would have a deal with Trump by now, because Carney has no interest in getting a deal. Carney has 91% of his investments in the United States. He wants Trump to be successful, whereas Poilievre wants Canada to be successful. So
I thought you might be different. I thought you might be a center-right, center-left premier or prime minister.
Nope.
You're just like everybody else. You are exactly what they said. You're a you're all about the World Animal Health Organization. You don't care about Canadian. It's all about this, and it's all about big pharma. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I got vaccinated. I believe in vaccinations. But you know what? When people see what you're going to do tomorrow, that is what creates conspiracy theorists and angry people because of what we're doing. Healthy freaking animals. Hell, what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm mad. 59 years old. As of tomorrow, I don't consider myself Canadian. Canada makes me sick. Let's see if you keep this up.
And that's what we're running into, you know. And again, Carney won't answer. Like, the easiest way to dispel these conspiracy theories is be transparent, be honest, something he cannot be. He is a pathological liar. That's been proven. Even his media outlets that he bought call him that now. So, you know, but all he has to do is be transparent and honest, but he won't do it. That image kind of says it all, doesn't it? Speaks volumes to me.
Let's meet Annabelle. This is Annabelle. Annabelle is about 25 years old. You're going to come say hi to everybody? Annabelle is 25 decades old, and this is who you're protecting today. You remember that, Canada? 25 years old.
And a bird. You can do anything too.
25 years old.
You can
Rise up, Canada. 25 years old. Healthy, big, beautiful. And we are sitting with minutes, not hours, to protect these animals. 25. Survived 25 years. Natural immunity. 25 years. Rise up, Canada. Protect these birds. Protect your future. Rise up, Canada. Yeah, you tell everyone, rise up, Canada. There's going to be bloodshed here that does not need to happen. And we can change it in unity. And by bringing solidarity and love, let's allow these guys to remain beacons of hope. We love you.
Another powerful picture. It's AI, obviously, but, you know, there's the Freedom Convoy, and there's the Ostriches walking with them because they're both hated by the Liberal government for no reason, no valid reason at all. That's a great picture. Supreme Court halts Ostrich call as Indigenous group issues cease and desist. Got the thumbs up, the happy face. That's a fantastic image.
I'm just living my life, holding my vibe, growing every day with a clearer drive. I'm not ignoring the world, I'm just alive. aligning my life. I'm just living my life, taking my steps right. No grudges here, just a vision in my sight. Some people lift you up, others dim your light. I've learned to choose my circle, to stand and grow. I'll rise with those who see the spark I hold. I'm just living my life, holding my vibe, growing every day with a clearer tribe. I'm not ignoring the world, I'm just aligning my life. I'm just living my life, taking my steps right.
And do you know what? The best lesson out of this Friday, patience is a virtue. That sometimes we might not have all the answers and we want them really fast, but in the meantime, we can enjoy what's in between. And that means that they are safe for another Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all thanks to all your love and support. And it's 206 days, so patience is a virtue and we wait patiently.
Yep. Happy weekend, everyone.
Happy weekend.
All right, and to finish off, I'm going to show you this. This is, I mean, if you can watch this last video and think these animals deserve to be killed without being properly tested, then there's nothing I can show you or say to you.
So pretty. Who's a pretty boy? Oh, so pretty. Who's a pretty bird? Pretty birds. Oh, pretty birds. Pretty birds. Happy birds. Oh, so happy. 217 days. It's worth a dance. Oh, so pretty. Pretty birds. So pretty.
So there you go. That's, yeah, it's some powerful stuff, honestly, but you are up to date on everything that's going there. Now, if you're wondering, you're probably saying, but you only showed me one side of the story. You're right. I showed you one side of the story because we don't know what the liberal side of the story is. They won't tell us. Everybody's been asking. Media's even been asking. It's hush. They will not tell us what it is, why it is, what the agenda is, which makes me think there's something to the conspiracy theory. You know, like being transparent is the easiest thing in the world if it's in your DNA to be transparent. Clearly, it's not with this liberal government. And so it's up to other people to figure out why. And, you know, the more I hear it, the more it makes sense, you know. The big pharma. And I'm like that other guy. I'm the same age, too, 59. But I'm like the other guy. I'm not anti-vax. I was vaccinated as a kid. And, you know, being disabled, I had to get vaccinated for COVID or Trudeau was threatening to take away my disability. So I got vaccinated, you know, and nothing's happened to me. So, okay, knock on wood and great. But if there's a natural immunity that can be found, well, that's a hell of a lot better than a vaccination for everybody except for the people that make the vaccinations. Because for them and their investors, which Mark Carney is their investor, that's big bucks. Big, we're talking billions, maybe trillions of dollars. So, you know, what, $1 trillion or 400 ostriches? Which one would you, if you were only worried about money? You know, it's kind of self-explanatory, really. But I really hope the Supreme Court overrules the government and says, test them. That's all I want. I don't want these birds to get a free pass, just so we're clear. I want these birds to be tested. And if they're healthy, let them live their frickin' lives without interference. And if they are sick, if they are carrying the flu and blah, 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 then yeah, unfortunately, they do have to be put down for the good of everybody else. But test them. It's a blood test. You know, you can, like I just saw a thing on Moose on the Loose where Carney sent, what was it, $8 million to, I think it was South Korea for gender neutral rice. The hell is gender neutral rice? You know, I'm sure you could get the herd tested for $8 million. You know, so yeah, just test them. If they're healthy, let them live. Simple as that. The other thing I wanted, before I sign out here, went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I'm going to put up an image. This man wants to jail the ostrich farm owners for testing and proving the birds are not sick. Who in their right mind kills 400 birds that are healthy? The face of one of the SIFA butchers. Make him infamous, and spread his picture everywhere. This is so wrong on so many levels with what's happening. Canada is soulless dead country. And don't do harm to him. Don't harass him, you know, or his family. Like, come on, let's not be the liberals. Let's not be SIFA. Let's be better. But yeah, you need to see who this is so that if you ever have to deal with him, you know he doesn't have a soul. Maybe that's why he hates the birds so much. Maybe the birds have souls and he's jealous because he doesn't have one. Could be. Anyway, that's my video. It's, like I said, I really hope the Supreme Court just says test them. Orders the birds to be tested. That's all it would take. You know, but these poor people, they can't test them without going to jail and being fined $250,000, which is absolutely insane to me that they would block testing. Oh, here's one more. Paul McKinnon. That's who I just showed you. Official account of SIFA president. And he's so transparent that he blocked his access that you can't see anything from him. You know, kind of tells you all you need to know about him. I'm just sick to my stomach with these people. Anyway, that's my video for today. If you like this video, leave a like, a subscribe, and a share. I'm trying to grow my channel, and a like, a subscribe, and a share does me wonders, and I do appreciate it. It takes 1 second to subscribe. Costs you absolutely nothing. Helps me immensely. Just hit the subscribe button on the bottom of the screen. Always feel free to leave a comment. I encourage everybody to leave a comment. Not only does it get us interacting, but it really does help me with the YouTube algorithm and getting more eyes on my videos. And as always, pew, 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 and shit. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.